Ireland ground to make up to reach their game's record score of 595 from Kuala Lumpur in 1998. As temperatures on the range heated up, so too did the competition. The Jory boys found themselves on top of the leaderboard with a stunning display of marksmanship from 500 yards. Peter with a perfect 50.10, while Adam was just one central bullseye behind. Parag Patel, another to score 10 central bullseyes, to help the pair from England move into second place. The hometown pair of James Corbett and Bruce Scott had local fans on the edge of their seats during the second round. Both Australians taking full advantage of their local knowledge, increasing their accuracy as they moved further from the target. Guyana shooter Mahendra Persad proving he'd found his range with a score of 49 to help his side. And it was not unusual to see the grandson of Tom Jones, Alexander Woodward, do his bit for the Welsh pair. It was during the 600-yard round that the youngest shooter in the field started to make his mark. 30-year-old Patel continuing his hot form with a 50.8 to take England into the lead. The Jories hit a snag midway through the match as they went into second. But there were no such worries for the New Zealand pair, who went past Australia into third.
Charlie 5, Mr. Carter, first sighter.
Bruce Scott showed why he's a former brigadier in the Australian Army with another display of accuracy.
Mr. Gomez, second sighter.
As the team from Northern Ireland dropped off the pace, their long-standing record looked in danger. The defending champs not completely out of the running, however, with 1 point separating the top 7 teams and the top 4 all locked on 299. Officials describing this as one of the tightest pairs events in recent Commonwealth Games memory. The longer distances set to spread the field on a day of high scoring. When the field moved to the first leg of the final match, the top teams continued to jockey for position. The 900-yard mark testing shooters across the board, and that showed in the results. The Australian pair capitalising on their home range advantage to shoot the lead. Scott and Corbett, the big movers, coming from 4th to 1st in an inspired display of accuracy. Scott, the form shooter, picking up maximum points with 75.13 in the tricky conditions. The South Africans found their rhythm during this stage, pulling themselves into genuine medal contention. A string of central bullseyes landing them in 3rd place overall. The pair of Johannes de Toir and Robert Hayter clearly happy with their position. England's Glyn Barnett, another competitor pleased with his efforts. Barnett, who is a doctor by profession, turned in a near-perfect effort, scoring a stage-high 75.14. His partner Patel, who is a hospital surgeon when he's not shooting full-bore rifles, dropped just 2 shots in a clinical display of precision. Malaysia also positioned themselves for a final run at a medal with an outstanding effort. The news decidedly worse for the team from Northern Ireland, who slipped to 8th and needed a dramatic change of fortune to keep their medal hopes alive. The final match at 1,000 yards is the ultimate test for shooters and would eventually decide the competition. While the field moved back 100 yards, the target size remained the same, in what is an amazing test of concentration, timing and accuracy. England's nerves tested early after a protest from Scotland saw their coach moved away from the shooting area. Patel putting the controversy behind him to score maximum points and ensure England had 1 foot on the dais. Guernsey were well placed at the start of the 1,000-yard round, Adam Jory dropping only 1 shot over the distance to keep them within striking range. But their hopes were dashed when brother Peter fired at the wrong target, scoring 0 and putting them out of the competition. The ultimate full-bore test proved too big for South Africa. Hayter spraying his shots to snuff out any chance of a late charge. It was a similar end for Northern Ireland. Their dream of a three-peat of Commonwealth gold fading when both shooters could only manage 73 to finish 6th on 590.79. As others fell around them, the Malaysians maintained their composure to have one hand on a medal. But the battle for gold was between England and Australia. Bruce Scott kept his cool when shooting first for the home side. His score of 73.6 after 15 shots, setting up a nail-biting finish. Barnett had a 1-point buffer when he hit the range and just needed to hold his nerve to seal the goal for England. James Corbett carried Australia's gold medal hopes, but his score of 72, not enough to reel in the ultimate prize. Australia taking silver with 593.74.
Representing England, Glenn Barnett and Parag Patel.
The gold medal, England's. Barnett and Patel's total score of 594.87, just 1 point shy of the game's record. Malaysia sealing the bronze with the last shot of the day, finishing on 592.72.
Focused on a stationary target. His 35.6 giving him a share of the lead. Sunday silver medalist Bruce Scott from Australia, the other shooter at the head of the leaderboard. The 50-year-old competing in his first games, showing why he is a former brigadier in the Australian Army, with a display of accuracy netting him another 35.6. Canada's James Payton also had an ideal start. The winner of the prestigious Queen's Prize in England last year, scoring maximum points over 300 yards. In stark contrast, it was a less than perfect start for the event's defending champ, David Calvert. Despite being the most prolific medal winner in the event's history, the shooter from Northern Ireland dropped one shot to find himself in the middle of the field. Compatriot Martin Miller, another finding the going tough, dropping 2 shots to be near the bottom of the leaderboard. During the 500-yard round, Patel snuck into outright lead, hitting all targets to score another 35.6. The Englishman holding a narrow margin over Scott from Australia, who missed just 2 central bullseyes to finish the round with 35.5. The big mover at 500 yards was Ransford Goodluck, who carried the flag for Guyana at the opening ceremony. The 53-year-old showing why he was runner-up at the Guyana Sportsman of the Year award last year, moving from 12th to 3rd after a clinical display of marksmanship. As temperatures on the range started to rise, so too did the competition, with the world-class field locked in a tight battle for the lead. By the end of the round, the race for the medals was still wide open, with just a single point separating the top 17 competitors. Spectators making the most of the picturesque conditions and enjoying a display of quality shooting. The wind picked up again at the 600-yard distance, but the standard didn't drop. Scott revelled in the tricky conditions, scoring a perfect 35.7 to go to the top of the standing at the halfway mark.
How's that? Beautiful. Good.
Guyana's Goodluck backed up his terrific second-round form with another outstanding effort to cement himself among the leaders. Carter from New Zealand, another who stayed on target. He was one of 9 shooters who did not drop a shot going into the half-time break. Second time through the 3 distances, shooters were given 10 shots, up from 7. Goodluck's sizzling form from the first stage proved hard to maintain. The Guyanan dropped 3 vital points to fall off the pace. The extra bullets didn't faze the other leaders as the cream started to rise to the top. Peter Jory making a genuine tilt at the gold, moving from 4th to 1st with the second best score of the round. His 50.9 giving him a share of the lead along with Patel from England. The game's debutant maintaining his blistering pace with 35.5.
Target 1.
You can give me 5.
Brian Carter was all smiles after his round. The reigning New Zealand champion, who finished second in the Queen's Prize, put in a terrific performance to move into equal second. Bruce Scott was the picture of concentration as he racked up 50.6 to stay among the pace setters. The 55-year-old yet to miss a bullseye to remain a chance at winning the gold medal. His Australian teammate James Corbett also rising to the challenge as he made the most of his home range advantage. Corbett hitting 7 central bullseyes to move up from 7th to 5th. After misreading conditions at the 600-yard mark, where he dropped a massive 5 shots, Pairs gold medalist Glyn Barnett was able to keep his humour during the second stage.
That's it. Hit a man while he's down.
His 49.6 helping him gain 2 positions. When the shooters moved to 500 yards for the second time, the competition tightened up. Peter Jory from Guernsey suffered a lapse of concentration that saw him drop 2 vital shots and surrender the lead. That left the door wide open for Scott, who again hit nothing but bullseyes to find himself going shot for shot with the other joint leader, Patel. Both shooters scoring 50.6. It was a different story for New Zealander Brian Carter, who suffered a hiccup at the 500, missing 2 shots to drop from 4th to 8th and needing a big round at 600 yards to be in the hunt. South Africa's Johannes Tatoi's confidence was on the rise during the second last stage of the day, as his 50.7 pushed him into outright 3rd. 7 shooters were locked on 203 points, just 2 points shy of the leaders in what was fast becoming a nail-biter. Jamaican David Rickman among the chasing pack, as was Canadian James Payton, the 49-year-old's 50.6 keeping him in contention for the gold. The same could not be said for compatriot Patrick Van Ploeg.
I wonder whether you had something got in there.
We're changing your ammunition.
Coming off.
Whose rifle jammed, forcing some quick readjustments, so he could get off his 10 rounds ahead of the 35-minute limit. There was some good news for Pairs bronze medalist Abidin bin Zarnal from Malaysia, who moved up to 7th on a countback. With temperatures peaking at 35 degrees, the battle between Patel and Scott remained fierce. Having trained in South Africa earlier in the year in an effort to replicate Australia's harsh climate, Patel was used to the blistering conditions. He capitalised to finish with 51 bullseyes after 51 shots, finishing the day with 255.37. That was enough to put him in second place at the end of the day's shooting, just behind Bruce Scott, who hit 1 more central bullseye than his English opponent. Peter Jory staged a remarkable comeback at the 600-yard distance to finish the day on 253.32. After shooting well all day, Robert Hayter received a warning for going over the 1-minute shooting time limit, but finished in 4th. And Bruce Scott was beaming as he carried Australia's hopes into the final stage of the competition. The gold medal to be determined on Thursday, when shooters tackled the most challenging distances of 900 and 1,000 yards to complete the individual event. With 9 shooters from 7 countries still in genuine contention for a medal, competition is sure to be hot come the final day. 30 shots will be fired on Thursday, with millimetres expected to separate gold and silver.
Mr. Trott, 4 to count. Alpha 6, July 5.
That's a bit of hard work.
Oh no, sorry, that's Petal.
You gave that to me. Put in the protest.
full-bore rifle, and Lolita Edliskaya has won her second gold at the Games in the women's 10-metre air pistols. She beat her shooting partner.
There were 2 heats in the men's 10-metre air rifle singles, with the top 8 advancing to the finals. Shooters.
The Commonwealth's best .308 target rifle shooters return to the Wellsford Rifle Range in Bendigo for the second and final day of competition in the individual full-bore event. On Tuesday, 38 shooters competed over 2 stages at shorter distances. The top 2 were separated by the smallest of margins. Coming into the 3rd stage, Australia's Bruce Scott had his nose in front on the leaderboard, having not missed a bullseye on Tuesday. He held a 0.1 lead over England's Parag Patel, who also did not miss a bullseye in the first 2 stages. Guernsey's Peter Jory and South African Robert Hayter remain in medal contention, just 2 points off the pace. With the competition tight, a sellout crowd was on hand to watch proceedings, with shooters put to the ultimate test of 900 and 1,000 yards to determine the gold. And with the target today set at just 24 inches in diameter, concentration would be at a premium. Full-bore rifle shooting is a test of timing and concentration, and competitors use their pre-event prep time to focus and relax. The scoring system for the individual event rewards the sharpest of the shooters, with a bullseye attracting 5 points and a central or V bullseye rewarded with a score of 5.1. The number of V's scored is what eventually determines a winner if a countback is required, with the shooter recording the most central bullseyes receiving the gold. Scott carried the lead into today's stage because he scored an extra central bullseye. But over the longer, more challenging distances, the competition remained wide open. Start of competition was delayed as officials conducted a thorough check of ammunition before the first shots were fired at 900 yards. Scott was the first to feel the pressure of competition, his perfect scorecard spoiled by a missed bullseye. That momentary lapse in concentration saw him score 74.12 out of a possible 75.15. That was enough to see him slip back into 2nd place. But there was no such worries for Parag Patel, who maintained his consistency to move a central bullseye ahead. He scored 75.14 to take the lead heading into the final stage. The other Australian in the group, James Corbett, used the first round to set himself up for a tilt at a medal. The winner of the Queen's Prize in Australia 2 months ago matched Patel 75.14 to take 4th on a countback. South African Robert Hayter, another who maintained the fury. The 42-year-old hitting the middle circle 10 out of 15 times to finish with 75.1 to move into outright 3rd. Compatriot Johannes Tutoir was another shooting up the leaderboard, moving up a place to 6th with a solid opening round. Northern Ireland's David Calvert made up some ground as he tried to defend his Commonwealth Games gold in Manchester. The 54-year-old scoring maximum bullseyes, but at 5 points down, any hope of celebrating his birthday tomorrow with a 3rd gold was virtually gone. There were several other competitors who fell off the pace. Guernsey's Peter Jory dropped a point to fall from 3rd to 5th, while Malaysian Abidin Zanal also strayed from the bullseye once, dropping to 8th. With all the medals still up for grabs at the 1,000-yard range, cool heads were needed as the temperature started to rise.
A4, Mr. Miller, 11 to count.
Scott regained his composure at the start of the round, finding the mark early in his final 15 shots. Patel the first to feel the strain, dropping a shot to throw the competition wide open.
A5, Mr. Patel, 12 to count.
Hayter needed a flawless run to stay in the hunt for a placing, but eventually fell out of running with a drop shot. Teammate Dutoit dropping 3 points to end South Africa's Games campaign. Peter Jory's hopes of winning Guernsey's first medal of the competition faded quickly when he missed the bullseye 3 times.
7, Mr. Jory, shot 12.
Zanal from Malaysia came home with a wet sail, recording the top score for the round. But that was not enough to give him a medal, as he settled for 4th on countback. That left noted long-distance shooter Australian James Corbett in prime position for a medal.
A5, Mr. R1, first sighter.
In the race for the gold, Patel stumbled at the final hurdle, dropping crucial shots. That meant the gold was Scott's to lose. The Australian Army Reserve Brigadier stayed focused throughout his final shots to score 74.1. After a tense wait for scores to be tallied, the pair's silver medalist added gold to his collection in an outstanding games debut.
Well done, Bruce.
49-year-old Scott winning by 1 point.
Congratulations. Oh. That's wonderful. I mean, it's a dream. Can you believe it? I love you so much. I'm so proud. Well done. You did it.
30-year-old Englishman Patel settling for silver after winning a gold medal in the pairs. Australia wrapping up the bronze with Corbett's final round 74.08, enough to give him his second games bronze.
The medals will be presented by Mr. Peter Surratt, President James Corbett. The winner of the silver medal, representing England, Parag Patel. Commonwealth champion and gold medalists with a score of 403.60 out of 405, representing Australia, Bruce Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Australia. Please acknowledge our Commonwealth Games medalists.
Well, that, guys.
there was a unique chair ride for the champion after the medal ceremony. A long-standing English tradition observed with Scott paraded through the venue on the Queen's Chair.
Yeah, it feels like it too.
This shit's got no rudder.
We're losing them.
That's because there's no one taking the weight on.
Tell me you're losing weight up there as we're going.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much. Well done.
What's happening?
Too zoomed in.
Guys, this one down here.
Bruce, Jim. Oh, Jim.
Beautiful, boys.
Townsville's Bruce Scott won gold in the open full-bore rifle. The Army reservist treated like royalty as he was cheered from the rifle range by his fellow shooters. Scott later dedicating his win to those devastated by Cyclone Larry.
I've tried not to look at the news, but I have to because I know people up there. And I hope that maybe today will give them some sunshine because they certainly need a lot of it.
And an Australian Quinella
walked into this arena 12 days ago with their preparation behind them, their dreams in front of them, their hopes and all that they wanted to do. And a lot of them achieved those dreams. Some went close, but all of them tried their hardest. And next to me now, two Australians who, well, they got the goods. Nathan Deeks, a